exactly what went down at Ohio State in that attack that could have killed more people. Only the assailant is dead. But we're learning a lot about that assailant and his musings on the internet that were posted in the latest case just hours before the attacks in Ohio. In August, for example, he told his school newspaper, "I'm a Muslim. It's not what the media portrays me to be. If people look at me, a Muslim praying, I don't know what they're going to think." To terror analyst Brigitte Gabriel on what she makes of this particular assailant and others who might be out there just like him, only we don't know it yet. Brigitte, very good to see you. What do you make of what we're piecing together?
Well, it is very concerning to see what's happening, particularly with the lone wolf attacks, because this is something very difficult to fight against. But then again, Neil, the writing is on the wall. Our enemy is telling us exactly what they want to do. ISIS came out and told their operatives or those that they are trying to appeal to carry terrorist attack, lone jihadist attack in the West using machetes, using butcher knives, using trucks, mowing over people. And we are seeing that this is being done by refugees across different countries across the globe. Remember, the 9 jihadis that perpetrated the November attack in France last year, all 9 of them entered France as refugees, and we are seeing the same signs in America.
All right, do we know what happened, though, with his family? When he first came here in 2014, I guess he was resettled to Dallas initially. Later on, the family moved to Ohio. I guess it's too early to find out exactly what triggered what, but something went horribly wrong, either for this young man or his family. No indications that the family knew what he was up to or what he was thinking, but piece together what you can for me.
Well, the family originated in Somalia. Then they went to a camp in Kenya, and from there they went to Pakistan, where they stayed for 5 years, and from there came to the United States, where he became naturalized as a legal status in 2014. And when you look at Pakistan or Somalia, both countries are not exactly a bastion of modernization. They are a terrorist hub. Actually, the Kenyan government, where most of the Somali refugees are being held in the location camp before they are deported to different countries across the world that can take them, they are saying that the camp has been infiltrated by al-Shabaab, the terrorist organization, and they are very concerned about the radicalization of the refugee population within that camp. Now, the United Nations decide what refugees come to the United States. So the United Nations picks the refugees from the refugee camps and designate them working with the State Department on coming to the U.S. The State Department settles them. They work with 9 federal contractors who resettle the refugees, and the 9 federal contractors work with 350 subcontractors who settle the refugees in 192 cities across America. So when they come to Dallas, what we are seeing a pattern is when these refugees, particularly the Somalis, are resettled in a community where they don't feel that there's a lot of Somali refugees, they themselves immigrate to pockets of Somali refugee resettlement in America where they can be a part of a larger group, like Minnesota, like San Diego, like Tennessee. There's a lot of Somalis in Tennessee, as well as in Ohio, and that's probably what happened and how they went from Dallas and ended up in Ohio.
We don't know, but to your point, obviously Ohio is a humongous school, but even there he felt out of place, even in that crowd, even though there are Muslim groups and there are whole pockets of even Somali refugees in that area, but he still felt very much out of place.
Well, the interesting thing about, remember, he's very young, he's very adept to using the internet, and we already know that he already was a follower of Imam al-Awlaki, had watched videos of Imam al-Awlaki, and he became radicalized. And he's the second Somali student to become radicalized. But what's so interesting about him, Neil, is he have figured out how to play the victim card, literally following the al-Qaeda playbook. As you notice, these jihadis know exactly how to operate and manipulate the Western mindset and the Western media by playing the victim card.
He was profiled in the school paper as a sympathetic individual.
Yes.
Brigitte, thank you very, very much. Always appreciate your expertise.